He's just a prick as well. Yeah, we're live.
Right.
Right, shalom,
Shalom,
shalom.
shalom.
First, like to give all praise unto
Power,
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Hakodash.
Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honor to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And yeah, there's so many things, man, we could talk about. The alien deception, you know what I mean? They got these earthquakes, all these different disasters that's been happening, flood in Libya, all these things that thousands of people getting dealt with. But you know, and that's just because we're coming towards the end of this world, man. You're gonna get all that chaos and contention of varying degrees leading up to the end. You know, because this is the end times. This is what's to be expected.
Yes, 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. And he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And that is our job. Our job is to watch and measure the time. And how do we measure the time? By these prophecies, right? Everything that's written in these scriptures is what we measure the time by. Okay, so it goes on to say, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
You know, like in Second Ezra has a lot of prophecies towards the end. You know, like going to the Second Ezra 6th chapter, it goes into premature babies surviving. That's the time we're in. It goes into all of that, innit? In the 6th chapter. Oh, we can, yeah, of course we can. That's one of the ways we know we're in the end. That's a new thing. That wasn't possible previously. That's a new thing. Like really, our generation is where you get a lot of guys that were like 3, 4 months premature, you know, two or 3 months, and they put them in an incubator. Before that, if you was premature, you was going home to the Lord like straight away, man. The back package got rejected, man. Return to sender, man. You know what I mean? No delay. Go on.
From Second
Man
Ezra,
didn't even leave it in the neighbor's spot.
from Second Ezra 6 and 18, and it is said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh, and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and will begin to make inquisition of them that they be that have had unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled.
The affliction of Zion, man, because that's really what it is, man. We're in captivity right now. Zion is the monument of the Most High, which is the nation of Israel. And you know, this age, this that we in right now, has really been about our punishment, our judgment. So-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians being punished and judged under under these heathens, beginning with Esau, Edom, so forth. What? Okay, but the time's gonna come. I believe that's in Lamentations as well. It speaks about our um, our punishment is over, but now it's gonna be on what's it? It's 4 and 21, right? And that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a changeover where our punishment is gonna be over, but then Esau, Edom, and the other nations they're gonna go into punishment. Vocab Malone and them, man, they don't want to believe that because again, Christianity doesn't follow the measurements of the Bible. Christianity is just a fairy tale that they made up, you know, heaven and hell and all this stuff. But really, the Bible has times and things which happen within those times and ages. So there's an age to come after this age, and in that age, there's a lot of punishments going to be dealt with these. Got it? Sure. 4:21. Yeah.
It's Lamentation chapter 4, verse 21. To rejoice and be glad, O door of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked.
Right, the drunken and make me the meaning they're gonna feel what it's like to have the Most High really against you, man. Because I did a video the other day and I was thinking about it. I said, you know what, yeah, the Most High can bless, but you know what, man, the Most High know how to curse, man. The Most High know how to the Most High can bless a man, and the same way he could bless a man, and he could bless a man and have a man living life on easy mode and everything's moving correct. Yeah, the Most High know how to curse a man and do that. And that's what's going to happen to Esau, Edom. They're literally going to be brought down to nothing as a nation. They're going to be on the ground. They're going to lose all their power, wealth, influence, their health. Even their health is going to be in jeopardy in the kingdom on a daily basis, man. Oh, and that's the Lord that's going to be doing it. Basically all the stuff that we've been going through times 10, because we've been catching hell. And I was just, the brothers posted videos. You see videos where guys, Edomites are going down, and they're showing you all the immigrants, like, because there's an actual, it's like a conveyor belt kind of thing of how the Jake from all the different countries in Americas make their way up into America, and it's thousands upon thousands upon thousands, and it's like there's set routes that and paths that they take, man. It's like a business, but just to get man up there. Now, why is that happening? Why are people, think about it like this way, why are people migrating on such a mass scale out of Americas into America, or out of Africa into Europe? Is it for no reason? Is it because they just want something for free? Because that's what the Edomites will tell you. Oh, they just want time free. Listen, I'll tell you this for free, man. Nobody goes through that kind of adventure just because they want something for free. No one leaves the land of their fathers, or you know what I'm saying, like, just on no reason. The reason these people are leaving is because life is extremely hard where they come from. You look up the statistics for the Americas. 33% of the people in Americas are in poverty. That's 32%, and I believe it's like 13% in extreme poverty. You know what extreme poverty is, isn't it? That's when you got a galvanized roof, yeah, that's leaking, and like conditions that your man's dog in the West don't live in. Mad conditions, open sewage, open sewage, and bro, there's mad poverty in the South America, the favelas and all them things there. Like, with no options, no, that's why you got all this prostitution. That's why you got bad bees over there that you could go and pay $1 to, and you get the ride of your life for a whole week off the back of $1. No, that's why half of them passport boys running around showing you videos, and why you think? Listen, them girls they're in bad situations. They gotta sell the pussy. They're down bad. I see one video one time. This woman, she went from she was a Colombian. No, she was Venezuelan. Venezuela had that madness that was going on. She went to Colombia, right? But when she went to Colombia, what do you think? They got flipping welfare and that for man. When she went to Colombia, she was fleeing from gang violence because her husband actually got killed by one of the local gangs. So she had to leave with her children. She went to Colombia to survive. When you get to Colombia, they're not giving you no money. And nobody giving you, here's your welfare and your EBT and no. So when she got there, what she had to do? They had the video on her, and she was there. She had her 3 children. She was staying in a little room with another 2 families, and the women, to pay the rent, the man have to sell the panani. What else they gonna sell? They ain't got nothing. You understand? They're refugees in another country. So that's what she has to resort to. She wasn't proud of it. It's what she had to do. It's a terrible thing when you get brought down to that level. But that's the kind of thing that's happening regularly down there in them areas. That's why certain of them even pimp their children. They're so poor, they sell their children to these Edomites that come over there to touch the children. The boys are turning into lady boys to facilitate these so-called white men in Brazil and that. And the parents are down with it because that's how they're putting food on the table. Because it's some real poverty down there. Got man in London crying. Listen, bro, them places is real poverty, man. Galvanized roof poverty. You know what I'm saying? So them people are running from that, and obviously you got the drug wars and all these different things, and so they're running up into the Americas, man. Our people are catching hell. It's real, man. Real poverty, real down badness, man.
Yeah. I had something you mentioned it earlier about how the Lord when the Lord blesses, he blesses, when the Lord judges. Real, isn't it?
Yeah, curses is real, and then all them guys talking about how well the Latin tribes, they're not Israelites, but they have their own countries. You're ignorant. You don't know what you're talking
They
about.
don't run their own country.
Native peoples of the Americas are not doing well at all. The people who are doing well in them countries are mainly the children of the conquistadors, the children of the Spaniards, and other Europeans that have went over there, like Germans and that. Like Brazil, there's a lot of Germans in Brazil that go over there and do well. And yes, you might have a small group of natives, because even when Esau went over, even with Jake, you got Jake, that's Boule, that they sell out, and to sell their people out, they receive something from it. Even if you go to the islands, so now you're gonna tell me Benjamin is not Israelites? On the islands, you got certain Benjamites that are doing well. They're up in society. And what's their role? To pimp the rest of society for the masters in Britain. Does that mean that so now Benjamin are not tribes because they got Jamaica, or they got he's ignorant?
They're keeping the status quo.
Well, I know a Jake that he had his parents own a bank in Cayman Islands. Man was living in the fucking what's the racehorse place? Ascot. That's where he lived, right next to the racecourse. With the billionaires, so what? There's gonna be certain Jakes that sell out and they get them positions. But as a whole, our people in the Americas, man, they down all the way back. You know, they're on the nothing but poverty and violence over there in a lot of places, man.
Today you don't control it. You don't control the bank. The people are the one who control the bank system. They don't take any time.
They control everything. Forget it, not just the bank. Look at all the corporations. Like I said, just go and type in top 10 richest families in Brazil and see what pops up, and then go research that family and where they come from. They're not natives. They're all Spaniards. They own, and what companies do they own? The coal company. They own everything, like. And then you got the multinational companies that come in there. The natives don't own nothing. They don't own the resources. That's just a fact. They're suffering. That's why you see them. There's a constant stream of them running up into America, thinking that they can go to America, and then it's the land of the free opportunity for them, because they know for one thing that they're not going to get no opportunity where they come from. It's a different type of thing. That's why man are working for the cartel for like $1, running drugs for $1 and things, and then getting your head chopped off over $1. Like, good.
This is 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. Right, so just going back on what you were saying about, the Lord, blesses, but when he judges, man, it's a painful thing to go through.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Our people have been suffering for hundreds of years, generation after generation. That's a reality. That suffering has never stopped. It's a reality that people live with every day, man. There are people suffering in a favela, in a ghetto, just real life suffering, man. Things a level that even you like, it's like, yo, like, you think you're suffering, and then there's another Jake, a whole millions of Jake in an even worse situation than you. Serious, man. And then there's sometimes you get Edomites, they go down there and they like, some of them are Edomites, some of them could be Jake, and they will like meet a family, and the family like it's like a 17-year-old girl, and she's basically looking after all of her brothers and sisters because their parents are dead, and where they're living is just, you know what I mean? It's a real hardship, man.
Deuteronomy 28, let's go from 41 here. It says, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, but they shall go into captivity.
They were under slavery too. When the conquistadors and them man come in, they put them to work. They put them to work for them, not for themselves. And even today, they're still working for them. They work for these corporations.
It's like I said, it's still going on today. The fact that women, people, families got to pick their children out and stuff like that just to survive. It's still slavery because they got no options, man.
What can they do? Work in the factories? Who owns all these factories? You know what I'm saying? Like,
verse 42, all thy trees and the fruit of thy land shall the locusts consume. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
That's what you see happening in the Americas. You do your research, man. Don't make ignorant statements. Oh, they got their own countries. What? Because you see Mexicans celebrating Mexican independence. You think that the actual Mexicans run Mexico. The man them that's really running Mexico are the children of the Spaniards. Those are the man from the day one the Spaniards went over there. They set up a caste system. Yeah, you had the Spaniards and their children. I forgot the name of them, but they even separated. They even separated if you were born in Spain or if you were Spanish born in Mexico. So even when you do the research, right? When you do the research into Cinco de Mayo, right? Cinco de Mayo and the Mexican independence. That wasn't the natives of Mexico getting their independence from Spain. That was the Spaniards that were born in Mexico that considered themselves Mexicans who were running the Mexican plantation, now becoming free from the crown in Spain. So now you got the normal Mexican celebrates the independence and the patriotism towards Mexico, not understanding that Mexico doesn't belong to you. Mexico belongs to them elites. Them man that's really got the money up there. And go look at their names. Look at where they come from. Guaranteed, they're not natives, man. They might say they're native, some of them, because what was happening is a man would deal with like the mud, a woman or something. But really, they're Spaniards. And that goes for all these South American countries. It's the same, except maybe Uruguay, which is even worse, because most men from Uruguay are European. Like, not too many. There's not actually too many natives in Uruguay itself. Uruguay is actually a country that is a lot of Europeans went over there. It's a small country as well. I don't know if you know that. Uruguay is very small. And it's actually a Spanish colony. Like most people in Uruguay are not even natives. They're literally Spaniards.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
So then so many people of like Brazil, for instance, everyone, like, about the Amish. The Amish went down into Brazil. The Germans gone into Brazil. So many different Europeans have gone into South America, and straight away they're the upper middle class there. Whereas the man that's been there from the very beginning are still down bad. And what can they do? Like, they got a hope that them man got some football skills, and them man can name out the thing. You know what I mean? Like, they could be Ronaldinho or something. They're in the favela trying to play ball.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, until thou be destroyed. Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which command thee forever. So they which he command thee.
All them curses have overtaken our people in the earth. They're down bad. There's nothing good. And you see, they don't like to highlight it, the poverty and the problems in South America, but it's bad, man. The death, the destruction that happens over there, the killings, they're rife with drug barons and all kind of destabilization that happens over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, them man are feeding Live Leak. Them man are feeding Gore.com. It's mad. Mexico, Colombia, all these different places, like, they've all gone through times where it's even worse than now. Panama and all them places, mad violence.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, upon thy seed forever. Because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, with the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Yeah, and that's what they did. We're basically just human resources for this man, because he controls the economies. He controls the resources. Like, one time I was watching, what's it called? Gold, whatever, man. The Discovery Channel got that gold thing. Yeah, one of them things. And so the man who was like Edomite again, his thing is like he'll prospect land for gold, and then basically you'll have all the equipment and do everything, and then because it's your land, you'll get your cut, and he'll get his cut. And then so he was in Argentina, which I believe the name Argentina means silver, right? And like they were out in the desert looking place, bro. And he's like, yeah, like we're flying out there. And he was down on the ground. It's like, yeah, this looks like a good place to get gold. I got the owner of the land flying out. When the owner of the land came and flew out, yeah, and got off the plane, it was Edomite. It was Edomite. It wasn't no native. It was the Edomite that got off the plane. They still own all them. They still own vast amounts of land with resources on there, with gold on there that he ain't touching. It's just there. The land ain't there. You gotta go tell him, yeah, I'll dig up some gold for you, and you'll get your.
Yeah, he ain't doing nothing.
Otherwise, the land is there. Man's got so much wealth and land that half of the land they're not doing nothing. That's the reality, man. So our people are down bad. But Esau's about to be down worse. But the curses are coming on to him. Yeah, where was we now? Second Ezra? Or you got something else?
I got second Ezra 9, yeah, second Ezra.
Yeah, go on, let's get.
Deuteronomy 28 and 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday of the blind gropers in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore.
Yeah.
And
Only oppressed. The whole regime is there, got set up from the very beginning. We're just concentrating on the Americas, but maybe we don't talk about that enough. The whole regime of the Americas was set up from the very beginning that the conquistadors and the rest of them pussios that went over there was all about converting the resources and these humans into wealth for us. That's what it's about. Let's convert the gold, let's convert the silver, the wood, everything. We're going to convert it, and we've got a labor force here. We're going to use this labor force to convert this resources into wealth for us. And it's still like that to this very day. The natives are human resources. They're not in a position where they're converting their own resources into wealth for themselves. They're converting the resources on the land of their fathers into wealth for the multinational companies and for the big wigs. It's never for them. It's never to their benefit. And anytime there comes a leader that might be native from among them who wants to do that, he gets killed. If he wants to take some oil money and help the people out and build up the people, them infrastructure, they won't let that happen. Right? Or you might, Coca-Cola and them man like will come and take the water. They'll put because you know them things need a lot of water to do that, right? So there's places where they'll build a factory for the Coca-Cola factory, yeah? Right? Obviously that'll be subsidized, so they'll make sure that that's subsidized by the government, so they're not even paying much to build it, when that money could have went towards helping the people. They'll build a Coca-Cola plant, hook it up to the river, and just suck the water out the river. Now the natives that are not even making money, they're just trying to subsistence farm, can't farm because the river water is so depleted downriver that they can't fucking farm. And then when they protest, right? Because I've seen they don't put this. Notice they won't ever have this on BBC or Fox News. There'll always be them random news things. You know, them random little news YouTubers, like, and they'll be interviewing people. I'm like, well, how come that's not on Fox News so people can know about it? But they don't want you to know about it. What will happen is they'll be protesting the multinational company like Coca-Cola, and it'll always be some old natives or some native woman, and she's standing up against them. Guess what happens? At the end of the report, they'll be like, 3 months after this report, she was gunned down and shot by masked gunmen. So who hired them? There was, Coca-Cola or whoever the corporation is, because they're bad men. Now, they wouldn't have hired them directly. They would have said, this is bad for business. They would have told their man that's in where, it's bad for business, fix it. And he'd be like, how do we fix it? Well, we'll hire these Sicarios and we'll get rid of her because she's the ringleader. So these men can plead, well, it ain't got nothing to do with us because we're not involved. When really you are involved, because that guy that's hired them, he's done it you told him to take care of it. And that's how they get things done. And that image I've painted there is happening all over the Americas every day. There's natives fighting against corporations and fighting against just to protect themselves from being poisoned, from being extorted and oppressed. And then all that happens is armed men that they can, because there's always a gun for hire.
Life's cheap down there.
Life's cheap. They would just pay whoever they got to pay. Look, take care of them, man. Kill that man. Kill that woman, because she's causing us problems. We just want to get the resources, and that's the truth. That's why I said we shall only be oppressed. Our people are still being oppressed over there in the Americas, but a lot of it doesn't make it to the mainstream media. What's happening down there? What these companies and these corporations are doing? It's sick, man. Human resources on this side of the world, but on the other side of the world, we're not going to be human resources. Ain't gonna have to report to the HR department, and then when HR ain't got no use for you, they just dash you to the side. So, go on.
Psalm 73. Start from 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth about them as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment.
Oh, another thing. What was that thing? So if you look at America, right, there ain't obviously enough space in America for everything. And sometimes it's cheaper to do things in certain places. They already did the research that polluting industries are racist. That's already been proven. That the polluting industries tend to be placed in areas where there's so-called blacks and Hispanics in America. And the reason they do that is because who cares? They ain't gonna put it in. I'll tell you this for free. I'll tell you this for free. If you got a middle class white neighborhood, they will not go and put some polluting industry next door to it. They won't. Because they know as soon as they put the plans up to build it, you're gonna have Jeremy and Josh, yeah, and Gregory. They're gonna, oh no, can't stand for this. It's gonna ruin the water. This is polluting. Yep, we're gonna get together and they'll all put money together, hire a lawyer, boom, 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 and that is no. But if you put it next to Pookie and Ray Ray and Fuentes and all them dons, most of them are uneducated, right? They need the jobs that comes from this because the first thing they're gonna come in and sell you on is there's gonna be some jobs in the area now. Fuck the fact that your kids are gonna fucking get cancer and die and autism and all that. Listen, we build this factory here, it's gonna provide opportunities, gonna provide jobs. Why? Because you need them jobs and opportunities because you're poor. So they can all straight away take advantage of that, yeah. And then even the few people that try and do something, they can't get the man them together because you're so messed up. They can't get the people together properly to fight against it. So they do that. And then there was a report that they made where they said, yeah, we do this. We'll send it here, or if it's too toxic, we'll send it to South America, right? And build it in South America. Because who cares? We could pollute whatever we want there. And this is the truth. I forgot the name of the memo. Something memo. And then they try saying it was a joke. If I look it up, it was a memo that got leaked. And he was talking about basically putting the most polluting industries in South America. They take the rubbish, all the toxic rubbish, they ship it over to South America and dump it in South America, man. Dump it in the water there. It's true.
In those South American countries, affected when the people that are around.
Yeah, of course.
This
is the truth. That's why we're telling you what we're telling you, man. Our people, and we're in a bad situation. And because when you're poor and impoverished and destroyed, a lot of times you have to accept it because why? You need work. So it's like when that man come and build that polluting thing, all the man that's working there now, they don't want it to close down because they're like, yo, this is how we're surviving because you have to be a human resource. But when you're a sovereign and you got your own resources, people can't do that shit to you. And that's why it's in Esau's best interest to keep our people poor and destroyed because then you could do whatever you want, man.
They compromise because they're poor.
You compromise because you're poor because you're desperate. You need that job.
Deuteronomy 28, in verse 32, speaks about having no might in our hands.
No might.
You know? So Esau gets to do what we want with us, what he wants with us, because we can't do nothing to defend for ourselves.
Yeah, because you know what happened then? Like we said, the hired guns come in, the jackals come in. They can always hire the guns to come in and deal with you how they want. And they could use proxy and blame it on someone else when it's really them.
Just back in Psalm 73, verse 7, it says their eyes stand up with fatness, they have more than heart could wish, right? They don't need to do all this stuff, but they want to do this stuff, man, because they want to make more money, more profit. They want to destroy more life, control more people.
They want to maintain their position, man. And that's why they're gonna continue to be the way they are.
Yep.
And they haven't changed. Like this is the thing. Like there's an illusion that the world has changed since the East India Company. Listen, all these multinational corporations operate just like the East India Company operates. And then go research the East Indies. Yo, that man were ruthless. That man was all about the Benjamins. That man didn't care who got beheaded, who got strapped to a cannon, how they could get. And it's the same thing happening today. They just got good PR. They know when to put it in the news and when not to put it in the news. All them big multinational corporations are ruthless. They'll do whatever it takes, right, and manage the PR. Simple. There's a lot of dirt that these American companies are doing down there in the Americas from day one. They're not going to put it on Fox News. They're not going to highlight that. Serious.
Verse 8 says they are corrupt. They speak wickedly. Concerning oppression, they speak loftily.
They're corrupt because they'll say they care about human rights, and they don't care about human rights. They do whatever they can get away with. They'll pay off whatever governor, whatever bribe they need to pay for the local people so that they can come in and abuse.
They'll tell them that they're doing it for them. They're doing it for the people. They're trying to do it for them, right? Helping you out because you need jobs, right? You need money, you need this and that. But at the same time, really what he's doing is destroying you and supplanting you. That's what he's doing, extorting you. That's what he's really, that's what he's really mega rich. Because he can't do that same shit in his place.
Nah, they can't. They can't get away with certain things no more in their own place. Yeah, you're right.
But like you mentioned about them, them white sparky neighborhoods, man. They're not going to have it because they don't need that place. They don't need Coca-Cola to open up next to them.
Yeah, that's why they outsource so much of the production to the third world, man. Because when you go to the third world, they can get people to work for cheap under poorer conditions, and you can pollute a lot more. And then you can, it's like, because you control the media, like, look how many of these fair trade things ain't fair trade. And when the man try and find out how is this fair trade, no one knows. It's just a lie. It's just bullshit that they could just tell you. Oh, it's fair trade. Oh, look, we've got this little symbol here. Our workers are paid fairly.
We're paying a going rate for bananas in this area. Yeah, it's fucking low. It's shit, bro.
Esau's still the same devil, man. He ain't changed, man. And he's the kind of guy, like, he would take 9 for himself, give you 1 and take back 0.99 from you on top of that. That's how the devil operates. He will make sure he bleeds you as much as humanly possible. Just look at the tax model.
But it's what I'm saying. We're getting paid, right? We get paid.
Income tax,
after you get paid, you tax the shit.
Then they've got products that they're taxing the petrol, they're taxing the cigarettes,
alcohol.
They're taxing the alcohol, they're taxing the punani. Everything taxed, man. It's mad. Inflation is crazy, man. When we were growing up, you can get 6 wings and chips for £2. Add a drink to that, it's £2.50. Now it's £4.50 minimum. So that's already like almost double. But the wages ain't double.
All right, it's after the inflation goes up. So you get paid more, the inflation got to go up. Ain't nothing to do with people, man.
They're pulling the strings, man. Because when they're creating money, printing money. Oh my God. Oh, no. I thought brothers would text me about the stream.
Okay.
Yeah, like this, listen, the Esau, his whole wisdom is how to fuck people over, how to create it. That's why you look at the word economy. The elders taught us to look at the word economy. It means house management. Well, when they're talking about the economy, whose house is it? It's their house. They own everything. We're just people that happen to be living within that house. We're not owners. We're not stakeholders where we're owners in that. We're not. It's their house. They're running the economy by them and for them, not for you. So in a situation where they need you to have a job because they need something done, you'll get that job. Mm-hmm. But as soon as they don't need you, you'll be left out there high and dry. And that's why as soon as they brought in the robots, that's it, man. Factories closed down. I'm sorry. What was Biden's job? Going in, buying companies, chopping them up into pieces and selling them on. Man didn't give a fuck. They don't care how many Americans lost their jobs, and then they think that Trump is gonna come and bring it back. They don't give a damn. Your surplus is a requirements, then that's you. This planet wasn't made for man to live.
That's capitalism.
Yeah. Right now, the earth is run for corporations because the elites own the corporations. It's not run for the people. The laws benefit corporations. They don't benefit the people. Just tools, man. And you know what? You don't need a tool no more. You don't give a fuck about it. But hey, that goes back into, just to say this. I know we're doing a lot of talking, but we're trying to build a picture. You go back into Brazil, The reason the death rate was so high in Brazil, them crackers in Brazil were ruthless. They actually calculated how much work you had to do to make their money back from you. So they worked it out that basically if you survived, if you survive for like a year and a half, yeah, they've already made their money back from you, from what they bought you for, plus profit. So they were brutal. Like the Brazilian slavery, the Negroes that got sent, because a lot of people don't know, more Negroes were sent to Brazil and that to Brazil than a lot of places, man. But they died. The difference was they died, bro, because they were working them, man, to the point where you could work a man and know it's like a prostitute, yeah. You could run a prostitute, right? And for longevity. So it's like, yeah, you ain't gonna make her get banged by 50 men an hour.